This tutorial will be covering special needs children in the public school system. Mentally challenged children. If your child is in inclusion classes, on an I.E.P plan, on a 504 plan, this is what this tutorial will cover. And just for public knowledge, just putting it out there, we rank number 38 in the United States in our nation on education. And we are constantly having schools shut down here in Arkansas, and money's taken from our special needs people, and it's not being addressed. And that's why I called our mentally challenged people the invisible ones, because no one sees them. If you were to look at my kid, just because you don't see it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist and that there isn't a disability there. With that being said, as far as us being the poorest, one of the top 5 poorest states in the United States, as far as the economy goes, we rank number 45. As far as overall health care, and they say infrastructure, I don't know what that means, but at the end of the day, the economy, our education, we rank on the overall 45 in the nation. This is public knowledge. You can punch it into Google and it'll bring it all up. With that being said, as far as my invisible ones, the ones that are swept under the rug, and I will have another video where my son will speak because he was raised in the public school system. When he turned 5 years old, he was in the developmental center until he was 5. I didn't know that they can go until they're 6 years old. I cried because I already knew what was going to happen with him going into the public school system. I have been everywhere. Every school system you can name, we have been there. And there has only been one out of all of his 12 years, one teacher that could find his trigger. So at the end of the day, I asked for extra set of books to be sent home, so I can reiterate at home. And then on top of everything else, I felt that he needed more one-on-one time, which he did need. And I also felt that he was getting physical therapy in the developmental center. He was getting occupational therapy. He was getting speech therapy. And I felt like that he would benefit from that in, the public schools also. But what I was being told is that we don't have enough, time. They only allotted enough time. And that's what, our choice is fighting right now. They have computers trying to tell us how much time, that our disabled people are allotted by a computer. And my thing is, nobody cares. If you had a child that had mental or even physical disabilities, people would care. That's why I say we are the invisible ones. No one hears us. So these are the tips that I'm giving to parents. What you all need to do is that you're going to have to document. You're going to have to write down everything. When you call an I.E.P meeting, go in at the first of the year when school is starting. It's going to be a few weeks for them to get everything situated, but make it clear that first day that you need an I.E.P meeting ASAP, as soon as they get situated. What you have to do on that I.E.P meeting, in that I.E.P meeting, like I said, never go alone. Never, ever, ever go alone to an I.E.P meeting. Take a friend, take whoever's in your circle, or you can contact the Disability Rights Center. They have usually volunteers that, will meet you at the school, and they will meet with you before that in their office to discuss what's going on, and they will come to the meetings with you. And document. And on that I.E.P, when they're going through all those papers, I don't understand a lick of it. Make them explain it to you. Make them break it down to you. And my thing is that you can't For me, I couldn't go really off of the IEP because I was seeing things at home that we were working on that he did not know. And like they tell me, just as long as he get the basics, he's okay. That's not okay with me, because at the end of the day, he's going to suffer in the long run. Um, in the IEP, there is a box where you write down what you have asked for, and I need you parents to write down everything you ask for. If you asking for an extra set of books, if you're asking for more one-on-one time, but like I was told, always told, it was the manpower. And at the end of the day, how do we fix that in order to get, because my son is still suffering when you don't have when you're telling me all these years that you don't have the manpower. So how do we fix that? Like I said, we're called the invisible ones. So at the end of the day, if you don't find that box that I'm talking about, write it down on there anyway. Find a spot, put it down there, everybody initial on it, on that last page where everybody signs that everybody has participated in this IEP meeting. Write it down there, and they're going to give you a copy. And make sure, like I said, give them a couple of 2-3 months, and then as that time has went by, if you still haven't seen any improvement, call another IEP meeting. But what I'm saying is that you have to go through it all in order, in an orderly fashion. See if there's room for improvement. Of course there is. Is my child coming home with homework? That was one of my other biggest things. He was never sent home with homework because all of my son's life, the first 10 years of his life, he was high. He was on phenobarbital for his seizures, and he was on Reglan for his constant acid reflux. He would throw up every time I feed him. But at the end of the day, he was on a total of 11, count them, 11 prescriptions. And at the end of the day, he's been through 10 surgeries. So, but to look at him, you couldn't even tell. It's a blessing. And that's what I'm trying to get over to people. Rashad basically lived in the hospital 2 weeks visits at a time, and they're missing this work. That's what people are not understanding. They miss so much of school, and it's not on the parents' mind at that time. I have tried to work with Rashad. I have worked with him, in the hospital, but when he's fighting to breathe, that's an issue for me, and my only concern is he going to make it through the night? Is he going to make it through the next, minute? So at the end of the day, it takes a village to raise these special children that we have. So I just wanted to give you a few tips. Like I said, write it on there what you're needing. And then after that, I need you all to know that your special needs kid can be placed into a private school. That's something else that you need to know also. But you got to go through the chain of command. You call a meeting, the counselors are going to be there, everybody's going to be there. If you still don't see any improvement and they still can accommodate your needs, then it's time to start looking into putting your child into a private school. And the money follows the child, because of course that school gets money for for the 504 students, the IEP students, they get money for that. So the money goes where the child goes. So if the child goes to one school and they transfer into another school, of course that money has to follow the child. And I'm not saying that there won't be any fees, with the private school, but I'm here to tell you it's worth it. But you will get assistance with those fees. So that's another option that you all have. But you go through the chain of command, you call these meetings, you document everyone you have spoke with, you write down who you talk to, you write in the IEP meetings what all you requested. Make sure you keep those copies, make copies of those. After you do that, if you're still not getting anywhere with it, speak with the principal. But the principal or the assistant principal should, if you want them to attend, they should attend. But other than that, if you still don't get anywhere with that, then you need to go to the Arkansas Department of Education and you need to put in a complaint with them. And then also, that's what the Arkansas Governor's Developmental Disability Council is for. They know any and everything about disabilities. They know about, special needs children in our public schools. They know any and everything about the 504 plan that your child is or isn't on. They know all about the IEPs. They can school you and they can teach you how to be an advocate for your child and to get your child what your child needs. That's what the Arkansas Governor's Developmental Disabilities Council is. And I'm trying to put the word out there and let everybody know about this Developmental Disabilities Council. I didn't find out about it until two months before my kid was to graduate from high school, my special needs kid, and I just happened to hear it on the radio. But every time God sends me people, every time I leave this house, and not one person has heard of this organization, but you're going to hear it from me. You're going to hear it today. That's who you need to get in contact with. I mean, they are not just for the mentally challenged, the developmentally delayed people. They are for all disabled peoples. I'm talking about older people's kids, middle-aged people, for any type of disability. I'm telling you, they know about programs that DHS don't even know about. So at the end of the day, these are the people that you need to be contacting with any kind of questions. Go down there, meet with them. Teresa Sanders is one of the people who work down there. Y'all need to get in touch with these people if you need to know what else to do. And like I said, the Disability Rights Center, they're full of disability rights attorneys all through that building. So at the end of the day, if it comes down to you having to file a complaint with the Department of Education, Disability Rights Center is a place you want to go to. So prayerfully, this will help you, and I will make other tutorials on special education. Stay tuned and look at my Facebook page. All the information is on there, fb.me/free info, the number 4 disabled peoples. God bless.